In just a few days, I will be boarding a plane with my laptop, camera, and equipment and fly down to Orlando, Florida. I cannot wait to be back in Disney World, and of course, I will be vlogging the trip, and make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when those videos are released. So, to prepare, I thought I would give my list of the best rides in each U.S. Disney park. So this includes Disneyland as well, of course. And this is also not my favorite ride in these parks. So like, these are the rides I think are objectively the best and may not necessarily be my favorite, but I think are the best in that park, if that makes sense. This video is brought to you by the Magic Candle Company. I'm a huge fan of Disney park smells, but what happens when I'm at home and not at the parks? Can I still smell those smells? Yes! Magic Candle Company brings you the best smells from around the world to your home. From riding a banshee to a Hawaiian lobby, Magic Candle Company has you covered with small and large candles, fragrance oils, wax melts, and more. So head down and hit my link in the description and be sure to use code BIGBEAUTIFULDIZ15 for 15% off your entire order. I've been burning their candles and using their fragrance oils for many years, and I can tell you they are fantastic. Again, head to the link in the description and be sure to use BIGBEAUTIFULDIZ15 for 15% off your entire order. Big thank you to Magic Candle Company, and now on to the video. So without further ado, let's start in Disneyland, and my pick is Haunted Mansion. This ride is also in Magic Kingdom, of course, but the Disneyland version is the better of the two. The mansion itself is a Louisiana-style mansion in the 1900s. This theme fits with the New Orleans Square and adds another level of creepiness to the mansion. The experience begins with this ride as soon as you step into the queue. That's a theme on this list. The stretching room is actually an elevator and takes you down to the second level of the building where the ride is actually located, so you're actually moving, which adds another level to the stretching room. It's a little bit of a better illusion. The ride itself is a classic and also gets refurbished like every year, so it still looks great. One of these refurbishments brought back the Hatbox Ghost a couple years ago, which is my favorite ghost in the ride. What makes this ride so great is all the illusions in it. It always makes me smile hearing grim grinning ghosts while going through the dining room and the graveyard. Haunted Mansion also gets a holiday overlay every year over there. Jack Skellington and his friends from Halloween Town take over the mansion and turn it into Haunted Mansion Holiday. Nightmare Before Christmas fits perfectly with the Haunted Mansion, and this overhaul has become very popular and does not happen in Disney World, so Disneyland has it beat there. I think the best thing about Haunted Mansion is the masterful mixture of being scary but fun. The story, Madame Leota and Constance Hatchaway, if you really think about it, are absolutely terrifying. But because of the brilliant storytelling and mixing scary elements and fun by Walt and his team of Imagineers when this thing was built, it's amazing and it's a classic for all ages. The best ride in Magic Kingdom, Jungle Cruise. You can't go wrong with an opening day attraction. The Jungle Cruise is a ride that will never get old, especially because of the new updates made to it in 2021. These updates made the ride feel like new, but kept the core of the ride intact and didn't remove too much, which I appreciate a lot. Jungle Cruise is one of those rides where you'll have a different experience every time you ride this ride, and that's because of the skippers. I love rides that have real guides and not recordings, and the skippers, yes, they tell bad jokes, but without them, the ride wouldn't be the same. That's why Walt put them in the ride, because he wanted it to be different. Jungle Cruise also has a holiday overlay that is immensely popular and makes the ride so much better when it's Christmas time. That overhaul is called Jingle Cruise and only happens during the holiday season. The charm of the Jungle Cruise is what makes it the best. There's no other ride in the park like it. It was very difficult for me to pick one in Magic Kingdom. So since there's so many great and classic rides like Peter Pan's Flight, Pirates of the Caribbean, Space Mountain, People Mover, but after really thinking about it, I had to pick Jungle Cruise because, yes, People Mover is my favorite ride in Magic Kingdom, but I don't think it's objectively the best. Space Mountain I don't think is the best, so Jungle Cruise is the winner. Best ride in Epcot, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Not only is this the best ride in the park, it's also by far the most popular. And it was the first roller coaster in Epcot, and was absolutely worth the wait. The story revolves around the Xandar Pavilion and guests going to be educated about Xandarian life. In the queue, the Guardians are shown being interviewed. Peter Quill says about how excited he is to go back to Epcot and ride the rides he loves, but the rides that he talks about are all closed. And then the pre-show is really when the ride begins, because the Celestial has stolen the cosmic generator, and the Guardians are called for help. So, this story is amazing. Guests are then escorted to evacuation shuttles, and the ride begins. Not only is the story great, but the coaster itself is so much fun, and the music is great. The songs in the soundtrack are Disco Inferno, I Ran, Conga, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, One Way or Another, and September. And the songs are shuffled, so you don't know which one you're going to get when you ride. And it also has a Christmas overlay, with Christmas songs being played instead of the normal ones. So that adds another fun layer to this ride. Cosmic Rewind is a great coaster and is worth trying to get a virtual queue for. Best ride in Hollywood Studios, Rise of the Resistance. Not only is this the best ride in Hollywood Studios, this is the best ride Disney Imagineering has ever created. The experience begins when you first step into the queue, and I absolutely love when the ride starts in the queue. It's awesome. And the queue starts outside, so you really get to see the land when you're waiting. It's the first bit of the queue I think is severely underrated. When you enter into the building in the pre-show, you are given a mission by BB-8 and a hologram of Rey. The ride begins when you board a transport ship where Lieutenant Beck speaks to guests while the ship is being flown. The ship is then attacked by the First Order and the Star Destroyer. First Order soldiers then take guests into a hangar full of stormtroopers and into a cell where a hologram of Kylo Ren and General Hux discuss what they will do to the recruits. After they leave the room, Resistance troops free the recruits and lead them to the ride vehicles to escape. And on a screen, Finn explains that the vehicles will take them to the escape pods in the ship so the recruits can escape the Star Destroyer. I don't want to spoil the rest of the ride in case anyone hasn't ridden it, but I will say the ride vehicles dodge stormtroopers, AT-AT walkers, and Kylo Ren. This ride incorporates everything that makes Disney attractions great. It takes elements from Star Tours, Soarin', Tower of Terror, and live performers. The ride utilizes a trackless system so the vehicles can make quick movements that simulate a chase much better than a track can. Star Tours and Soarin' technology is used in the pre-show. Cast members also add to the experience, whether it be the First Order or Resistance performers. At the end of the attraction, there is a small drop that is like the technology that is used in Tower of Terror. In terms of story, the drop is taking you to the escape pod hangar, and then more Soarin' and Star Tours technology is used in the escape pod itself. So combining so much technology like this is just mind-blowing to see, and I truly believe that this is the best Disney attraction ever created. Best ride in Animal Kingdom, Flight of Passage. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Pandora is the best land Disney has ever built. One of the reasons I feel this is because of the masterpiece that is Flight of Passage. Again, the experience starts when you first enter the queue, and this ride is located in the middle of the land, so you get a great look at the beauty of Pandora and the Hallelujah Mountains. The inside portion of the queue is in the PsyOps lab, and you have been chosen to take part in the Avatar program. There is a Na'vi animatronic in the queue that is just incredible to see. During the pre-show, Dr. Stevens explains that you are about to become an avatar in Pandora and fly on the back of a banshee. During the ride, you experience the sensation of flying around the beautiful world of Pandora. You smell the ocean and world around you. You feel the air. It's indescribable how cool this feeling is. The sights and smells of this ride alone is enough to make it a great ride. But you can also feel the banshee breathing between your legs. It's just amazing. It's mind-blowing, and I can't do it justice by explaining the feeling. But that's why I love this ride so much. Best ride in California Adventure, Radiator Springs Racers. This may be a surprise pick considering some of the great rides that have been added to DCA recently. But Cars Land is an underrated land in my opinion. Just because it's themed to cars doesn't make this a bad land, because the level of theming here is unreal, and the e-ticket ride is no different. Radiator Springs Racers is a lot like Test Track, but takes you through some scenes of cars before ending in a race with another car full of guests around Willie's Butte. The max speed is 40 miles per hour, so not too intense. I was a massive fan of Cars growing up, and the ride is so fun, and I think it's the best at DCA. Best ride at Disney Springs. There's a ride at Disney Springs? Yes. The Marketplace Train Express is the best ride at Disney Springs, and I'm not kidding. Disney Springs is kind of boring, and as a kid, I can't imagine how boring it is now. And that train is so fun, especially if you're the one sitting in the caboose. The coolest kids back in the day sat in the caboose, and you better believe that that was my go-to seat every time I rode that thing. So yeah, I'm not joking. The train in Disney Springs when you're a very little kid, I don't know, I think you have to pay like $10 or something to ride that train. But if you have little kids and you're in Disney Springs and you don't know what to do, ride the Marketplace train, because the kids, they might not seem like it, but they're having fun on that thing. This was a quick one, but I need to get prepared to go to Disney World. So I just wanted to make a fun list. I really do believe that these are the best attractions Disney has created. So if you agree with my list, let me know down in the comments. And if you don't, let me know your list. And while you're down there, leave a like and consider subscribing. It would make me a very happy man. And with that, I will see you all in the upcoming Disney World videos. Have a magical day, everybody.